First of all, I have to explain some things before I tell you about the man with the hat. I have always seen shadow people. My mom says that when I was a baby, I used to cry a lot because there was a man in the apartment we lived in. The building was old, from the 40s, and many people had experiences in there. I remember the housekeeper had some pretty bad ones. I remember seeing shadow people, and more than once, hearing them calling me. I was also terrified of my closet because it was unusually dark, at least, I believed it was, but eventually, it all stopped around the time I was 8. We moved to another apartment building when I was 14. The place was built in the 60s, and we got a pretty good deal for the apartment, so we were happy to own our place. We rented before that. I remember people used to tell us that they kept seeing a little girl inside the apartment, even when everyone knew it had been abandoned for almost 10 years. As soon as we moved in, I noticed there were doors opening and closing on their own, shadows walking in the living room and strange voices in the night. It all stopped after a few months, and we lived without worries for almost 4 years. I was 17 at the time we began having problems with one of the neighbors. She was a very problematic person, who used to bully people to get what she wanted. People also said she was a witch. Anyway, this woman accused my father and another neighbor, who was our friend, of stealing money. My dad and this other guy were the administrators of the building. I don't know if this happens in other countries, but here building administrators handle the money for all the needs of the common areas of the building, cleaning, electricity, employees, and so on. In the end, my dad and our friend were cleared because evidently, the woman was lying, but she was very angry at us. It was when the man in the hat visited me. My apartment was in the floor level, just in front of the problematic neighbor's place. Between the apartments, there was a small garden, and my bedroom faced her apartment. I caught her spying through the window many times, and I really disliked to know she could be watching me anytime. I kept the curtains closed always, and felt really uncomfortable because my bed was right next to the window, but since my room was really small, I could not move it elsewhere. Well, one night, I had gone to bed around 10 p.m., and was trying to sleep, but couldn't. I stirred in my bed, eyes closed, for around 2 hours. Finally, I lay in bed for around 20 more minutes, staring at the bottom of the top bed of the bunk. I used to sleep in a bunk bed. Then I saw him. He walked right through the window, in front of my bed, then crossed the small room, and walked through the door, exiting the room. I lay frozen in my bed. I had just seen a man, around 50 years old, wearing a black/dark gray suit and a hat, walk past my room. I immediately started praying to the gods. Let me also clarify that I had recently converted to Wicca. After a while, I fell asleep in tears. I was soundly asleep when I was woken by the noise of a poster falling from my wall. In those days, I was a big fan of the anime Sailor Moon, and I had a huge poster in my wall, just next to my bed. It was secure in the wall, with tape and thumbtacks so it wouldn't fall. Well, the poster fell, bringing down with it some stuff I had in my nightstand. I woke up truly terrified, but quickly decided it had just fell. I got up, placed the poster back, rearranged the fallen stuff, and went back to bed. It was no more than 2 minutes, and I was perfectly awake when, I swear, I felt something biting me between the shoulder and the neck. It was really quick, and I jumped out of my bed while at the same time I turned the lights on. Evidently, I saw nothing, but I could feel there was something there. I suppose I could have been really scared, but I was not. I was furious. I remember I felt like beating the crap out of that thing that had just bit me, so I yelled at it. I told him, pardon my language, to get the fuck out my house, that he was messing with someone who was not going down without fighting, and that if he wanted to play, well, it was on. In retrospective, I might have been reckless, but I clearly remember not feeling afraid. I knew what to do. I took some water in a glass, added salt to it, and sprinkled the whole room with the liquid. Then I smudged the place with sandalwood incense, not missing one spot. I paid special attention to the window. All the time, I kept repeating to myself that the gods were with me, and that they were kicking this bastard out of my house. My mom opened the door, catching me with the incense, and questioned me. I explained everything. Being the skeptic she is, she said it was just a dream, but deep in her eyes, she was worried. She left, and returned a few moments later with some holy water. She's Catholic, and said, well, this might strengthen your spell. Good night. As I said, I'm a Wiccan, so I really don't give much credit to holy water. Most of the time, the blessings of water in churches are so damn impersonal. But I think that my mom's desire to help me and keep me safe was what strengthened my protections. I placed a glass with holy water, next to a glass with consecrated water, in the window. The man never came back, and I am certain I kicked his ugly butt off my house with the help of the gods.